I'll talk about our fundamental human longing and how we can fulfill that longing. What is our fundamental longing? Every person wants to be happy. No one wants to be miserable. No one wants to feel unhappy and miserable. Everyone wants to be happy. Whatever we do, whatever you do, whatever I do, we do it in order to be happy. And we don't want to be happy just sometimes. We want to be happy always, all the time, without end. So we are constantly looking for ways to experience happiness. Constantly. We are running after ways to experience happiness. And so in our search for happiness, what we do first is we look for physical enjoyments. We look for physical enjoyments, we look for wealth, name, fame, and all these things may give us some happiness, some enjoyment, some pleasure, but they are limited, they are short-lived. And so after a short period of time, we again are dissatisfied, unhappy, and then we are looking for something else that we hope will make us happy again. Can you relate? So, transient things, limited things, can give us only transient and limited happiness. But we want unlimited, lasting happiness, permanent happiness. It is our fundamental human longing to experience lasting, permanent happiness. So the question is, how can we fulfill that? We could only experience permanent, endless happiness if we were to come in touch, if we were to experience a source that is permanent and that is lasting, that is endless. So does such a thing exist? Does such a source exist? Something that is permanent and that is infinite, endless. Or are we born as human beings with a fundamental urge for endless happiness that could never be fully satisfied? So the yogis asked themselves the same question. They observed in themselves their longing for constant happiness. And so they wanted to find a way to fulfill that longing. And they realized, they experienced that going out in the world, they need to do it through their sense organs, through their eyes, through their ears, through their skin, through their sense of touch. And all these organs are limited. So they could experience only limited happiness going through the sense organs because they are limited. And what they experience through the sense organs, that is also limited. But they want to find something that is not limited. So what they did, they, instead of extroverting their mind, they introverted their mind. They turned their mind inward. They traced their thoughts and their feelings to to their source. They trace their thoughts to their source. Say, for example, you could think now a train of thought, I am listening to Dada. Say that would be your train of thought. I am listening to Dada. So what the yogis would do is they would trace their thoughts back to its original source. So they would say, I am listening to Dada. Then they would trace it back, I am listening. And then they would trace it further back. You could do the same thing. In order for you to feel or to say, I am listening, you have to feel that you exist. So they would trace it back to I am. In order to feel that I am, there's a fundamental sense of I. So they would trace it back to a fundamental sense of I. Only that I remained. They have withdrawn their mind, traced it back to its source, I. Just I. And when they traced their I further back to its source, they came to an unconditioned state of awareness. A pure awareness without thought content. The source where thoughts come from, they experienced as pure awareness, consciousness. And reflecting that consciousness, they experienced bliss. They experienced a state of unqualified, unending happiness and peace. They experienced that what they had been looking for, a source of unending happiness. And they found it within themselves. They call that core of their being Atman, or that which is prior or beyond the mind. And so whenever they were able to, so to speak, go there at any time, it would always be at peace, always be blissful. They had found the source that would fulfill their fundamental human longing for happiness. Not outside, but within. And so, after having found that, they developed methods, techniques, practices, so that others may also learn to withdraw their mind, turn it inward, and come in touch with the core of their being. And so the main practice they develop for that is the practice of meditation.